Hello and welcome to this video. Did you know that copper is the only metal that occurs naturally in its metallic state? Well, about this we're going to discuss a bit later. Let's have now a look at the history of copper production and use from the earliest archaeological evidence to today, when copper is more used than we think. The electricity that powers the device you are using now on to watch this video traveled through copper wires, and very common objects like the incandescent light bulb, soon to become a museum object, making space for more modern and efficient light bulbs, are just a few examples of how much copper is present in our life. Let's find out the history of this versatile material that we use in so many ways in our day-to-day life. According to Oxford English Dictionary, copper is a chemical element and a soft reddish-brown metal used for making electric wires, pipes, and coins. When oxidized, copper tends to acquire a greenish color, like the Statue of Liberty looks today, for example. Our journey starts in ancient times, where our predecessors discovered the remarkable properties of copper. This metal, naturally occurring in some places and easy to modify in different shapes, quickly made its way into the human's life. Early use of naturally occurring copper, called native copper, were discovered in areas such as today's Cyprus, Iran, and even United States of America, dating back to as early as 5000 BCE. With the realization that this brittle native copper is easier to shape when it's heated up, our ancestors began the process of processing metals, which led later to casting melted copper and furthermore to extraction of copper from ores using an environment with high temperature and low oxygen levels. Production of copper from ores needed higher temperatures and different techniques. The earlier archaeological evidence of copper smelting comes from artifacts such as crucibles and slag. Crucibles were made of clay and were used to contain the copper ore in the hearth. Once the necessary temperature was reached, the ore was melting, resulting in copper and slag as residue. A major change in the process was the invention of furnace smelting, which was a better way at controlling temperature. The extraction of copper from ores made copper a much more accessible metal. The smelting technology evolved later with the introduction of tin into the mix, which produces bronze. The mix of this alloy into the copper product made it more durable and harder, which favored the use of bronze over pure copper in areas rich in ores containing both tin and copper. Brass, which is produced by adding zinc to the smelting process, appeared much later in history. Since its first use, copper became one of the dominant materials used in personal adornments, tools, weapons, and other day-to-day life objects, such as mirrors and weights. The discovery of Uluburun shipwreck in South Turkish shores, which contained not less than 348 copper ingots weighing approximately 10 tons, shows the extent of copper trade in the 14th century BCE. After the invention of iron, which was a more affordable and accessible material, the copper still played an important role in the economy of ancient civilizations. Most of day-to-day objects were made out of iron generally, copper being used for more expensive items. The most common use of copper during the Iron Age and later is in coinage, especially during Roman times. This is the reason why most of the Roman coins you see today in museums have a greenish aspect. Fast forward to the Industrial Revolution, a period that would reshape the world we live in. Through technological advancement, copper played an essential role in the use of energy. Copper, now a vital component in electric conductors, played a pivotal role in powering the machines that transform society. So, next time you turn on the lights or plug your phone to charge, remember that we have all this because someone, somewhere, a few thousand years ago, was fascinated by a reddish-brown nugget found on the ground and used their imagination to give it various shapes and attributions.